Shedeur Sanders really threw himself under the bus. We all know who Shedeur Sanders is because he has said it. He knows who he is. He's Superman. He's the greatest thing since sliced bread. And Deion Sanders has put himself out there saying that my son is the greatest thing since sliced bread. But guess what? The greatest thing since sliced bread should not be drafted in the 5th round. He should have been drafted in the 1st round, which tells me organizations don't give a crap what you think. You got to go out there and you got to have to interview well, and you don't go out there and say, well, I'm the best. I don't need to do this. If you don't draft me, you're making a big mistake, and this and this and that and that and that and this. This has been a huge problem for Shedeur Sanders. Who has Shedeur Sanders beaten? If we look at the numbers, and I'm sure Fish is going to give you the numbers in just a few moments, they're not good. They're not good numbers. He didn't beat anybody. He didn't beat top defenses. He didn't do nothing. His huddle play, as far as when he's in the huddle, has been absolutely putrid. He's playing fast-paced football. That doesn't work in the NFL all game long. And the problem is it's just his personality. His traits, he is not prime. And he needs to understand that. He is not his father. He needs to stop believing that he is. And again, they fired his father as their agent. Why? Because he's been opening his mouth just as much as he has. And then after Thursday night, after he didn't get drafted in the 1st round, he says, this isn't what we expected, but we expect big things in day 2. Yeah? Well, you had to wait until day 3 to be drafted. Why? Because you open your big mouth. You're lucky you were drafted. Because to me, you're not going to show up to an NFL team and embarrass that NFL team on what you say on and off the field. You got to go out there and you got to play the game. We all know. Remember Johnny Manziel? What did Johnny Manziel do? He went out there, he danced and pranced around with his money chance and everything. And the guy had problems with his he obviously had something going on with bipolar disorder. And I'm not saying Shedeur is bipolar. I'm not saying he's any of those things. But obviously there's something going on in this kid. His traits, who he was, and what he's grown up to, the money that he's made in NIL deals. He's made $6 million in 2 years in NIL deals. He's wearing big chains and driving brand new Mustangs and cars. He's got a ton of them. I mean, to me...
Hey, don't forget his clothing line.
Oh, I'm sorry. His clothing line, his drink line, his watch line. I mean, Shedeur's all over the place.
He's a rapper, too.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's another thing he did after not being drafted in the 1st round. He goes into a booth and he's rapping. Nobody cares that you're a rapper. You're not Lil Wayne. You're not Jay-Z. And if you want to be any of those guys, just ring P. Diddy. He's over there in the jail cell. You can go hang out with him. All right, seriously.
Easy.
I'm just serious. This is truth. I just don't understand why this kid doesn't understand. You got to take a step back. You got to respect where you are. Nobody's going to like you. Even over there now, you're playing with 5 other quarterbacks, and you're playing in the Browns, in Cleveland. Cleveland never has had a good quarterback. Who was the last good quarterback? Well, you could have been Baker Mayfield. They decided to part ways with him, but they haven't had a good quarterback. They have gone year after year and draft after draft and free agent after free agent. And now you drafted 2 quarterbacks in the 4th or 3rd round, and then you draft him in the 5th. Does that make any sense? No. The Browns are an organization that's putrid. They're terrible. So what did they do? They did the one thing no organization did. You draft Dylan Gabriel, and then you draft this idiot. It's an absolute debacle. I don't care what Ulbrich's son did. Was it funny? I don't care. I don't really give a crap who and what has happened on social media and what he's doing and posting things. I don't care. Go out there. If you do what you're supposed to do, this stuff wouldn't have even happened. You're an idiot. You're a person that needs to step back and realize who you are. Joba, you were a superstar at one point in the MLB. You were a first-round talent. And when you came into the league, the first thing I guarantee you understood who you were is, I'm in the bullpen, and I'm playing with some of the best. I'm playing with Roger Clemens, one of the greatest pitchers of all time. I'm playing with David Wells, one of the more underrated pitchers the Yankees have had. And then I have to play with Tino Martinez, Paul O'Neill, all these guys, Matt Suey, Johnny Damon, all these guys that are superstars in their own right. And you have to take a step back and realize, hey, you know what? I'm a good player, but these guys are unbelievable. Remember Aaron Donald? Remember when he was drafted? He was a first-round talent. Aaron Donald, when he was drafted, he was overweight. People were said he shouldn't have even been drafted as high as he was.
And he's short.
And he's short. And when he walked out, did you see him wearing a deep chain? Did you see him wearing a sideways hat and trying to look like he was something that he wasn't? No. He respected the fact that the NFL is bigger than he is. He didn't. He thinks he's bigger than the NFL. And you can't do that. Players, superstars, do you think anybody right now in that quarterback room likes him? Honestly, you think, and I remember Dylan Gabriel, I talked to him, I asked him, who do you think should win the Heisman? He said, there's no way Travis Hunter should be the Heisman Trophy winner. He said, Genty got robbed. Everybody heard him say that. Genty got robbed. He wasn't a big fan of Hunter, and he's not a big fan of Shedeur Sanders or Deion Sanders.
He's definitely the one that got screwed the most.
100%.